Good morning, it's today again. Welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph, and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Most people think that if you want fractional gold, you just buy the 1/10 ounce or maybe even the quarter ounce gold. They're simple, they're modern, and they're recognizable. But what if I told you that there's a 100 plus year old US gold coin that can give you more gold at lower premiums and an even better break even point, all at the same time? Today, we're going to do a direct comparison between two completely different types of gold: a modern bullion coin, the American Gold Eagle, and its US pre 33 somewhat equivalent, the Quarter Eagle $2.50 gold coin. We're going to figure out which one actually makes more sense in today's current market. Congratulations once again to Trevor Gilchrist for being the first to comment on yesterday's video. Thank you so much for the support. Go down into the comment section to find him and start a conversation. So today we're going to be doing a direct comparison between the 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle and the $2.50 Quarter Eagle gold coin. But before we get into the pricings, the premiums, and the break-even points, we need to understand what these coins actually are. Because even though they both represent a fractional gold, they come from a completely different era, different purpose, and clearly have different designs. So first, let's break down the types, history, and structure of each coin. We'll start with the modern side, the American Gold Eagle. It was first introduced in 1986. This is a U.S. Mint bullion coin, meaning that it is primarily made for investments. It follows the standard weight and purity, and it's recognized globally. So this comes in a 1/10 ounce version, a quarter ounce, a half ounce, and a 1 ounce version. And there are actually two different types. So the obverse shows the Augustus St. Gaudens classic Liberty design, and the reverse of type 1 shows the family of eagles, and the reverse of type 2 has an updated eagle portrait. You can see here type 1 on the left and type 2 on the right. Type 2 was on the American Gold Eagles from 1986 all the way until 2021. Then in 2021, they changed the design to type 2 and is made in that way all the way until present day. The 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle contains exactly 1/10 of a troy ounce of gold, even though they are 22 karat gold, which is 91.67% gold, alloyed with some silver and copper for durability. Because of that alloy, the total weight of the coin is slightly higher than 1/10 of an ounce. That way it can actually contain the 1/10 of an ounce of gold. So now let's shift to the historic side, the $2.50 gold coin, commonly called a quarter eagle. Back when gold circulated, an eagle was $10, so a quarter of that is the $2.50 denomination that you see here. The quarter eagle was minted as far back as 1795 all the way until the early 1900s. The two types that I am showing here is on the left the Liberty head design and on the right the Indian head design. The Liberty head goes all the way back to 1840, but the earlier designs were a different standardization, a different purity and weight of gold coin. So we're just going to be talking about these two major types today, the Liberty head and the Indian head. The Liberty head actually ran from 1840 all the way to 1907, and the Indian head from 1908 to 1929. And these two types is what people most likely refer to when they say pre-33 gold. These coins are made of a 90% gold and 10% copper alloy, but contain 0.1209 troy ounces of gold. And what's very important is for this conversation, we're going to be talking about common date coins. There are some dates that are scarce, there are some mint marks that make it more rare, and some conditions that command a whole lot more premium. So for this conversation, we're going to be looking at the common dates, Liberty Head and Indian Head gold coins that are primarily priced off their gold value, not rarity. All right, so starting with a comparison, there's clearly a difference in amount of gold. The 1/10 ounce gold eagle contains exactly 1/10 of an ounce, and the quarter eagle contains 0.1209 ounces. That 0.0209 means that the quarter eagle contains a little less than 21% more gold. So right now, gold is at $4,706 per ounce. The 1/10 of an ounce of gold contains $470.60. The quarter eagle contains $568.02. That difference is $98.32 more gold value. And when we look at how these are actually priced, they can be widely differently priced based on where you're shopping. So instead of comparing what my local coin shop does, I'm going to be pulling data from an online bullion dealer that shares their bid and ask price, basically what they're selling it for and what they would buy it for. So today's price for a 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle is $548.89, meaning a 17% premium, and they would buy it back from you at $468.90, which is just under spot. It's actually 99.8% of spot. The quarter eagle is going for $600, which is 5.6%, but they're going to buy it back from you at $538.72, which is just a bit more than 94%. So we're not guessing in this price. This is the real world spread right now if you were to buy it from this online dealer and sell it back to them. This is going to help you understand how these are performing in today's market. A really interesting point here is that the quarter eagle is only $51.11 more than the 1/10 ounce gold. But remember, it contains $98.32 worth of additional gold. In addition to that, we can use the rate that this online dealer is willing to pay, as well as the cost, to calculate what gold would have to be in order for us to break even. As you can see here in these calculations, gold would have to reach $5,510 per ounce to break even on a 10th ounce American Gold Eagle right now. However, only $5,279 per ounce to break even on the quarter eagle. So now we can see that the equation is not just what is cheaper or what you get the most back for. There's a lot more to consider than just the price as well. To be honest, for most people, focusing on the American Gold Eagle does make a lot of sense. They're easier to sell, they're instantly recognized, they're highly liquid, and they're very simple for beginners. But the quarter eagle does also have its advantages as well. You get more gold per dollar because of the lower premiums, there's that better break even, and you get the bonus of some historical value. For me, it's not about saying one is better than the other, it's just understanding the trade-offs. If I want something very simple, I'll go for the eagle, but if I want efficiency, I go for the quarter eagle. So here is the real quick summary. The quarter eagle is going to be a lower premium, but it does contain more gold. When you sell it, you're going to be getting less money for the gold than you would for the 1/10 ounce gold. But because of the lower premium on the buy side, the spread is smaller on the quarter eagle. That makes it more efficient, even though the 10th ounce quarter eagle is seen to be a lot more liquid, meaning easier to sell. Of course, I am not a financial advisor, and if I was, I'm not your financial advisor, so make sure you do your own market research and get the coin you would prefer. I just made my own line of coffee. Joseph's Reserves It's Today Again coffee is now available on josephsreserves.com. Every morning is a gift. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. It's Today Again is a reminder that God has given us this day once more, with new mercy, new opportunity, and real work to be done. It's the moment to show up, build good habits, and take hold of what's been placed in front of us. Whether it's putting in the work, staying disciplined, saving consistently, or simply choosing to be faithful in the small things, today is where it starts. Encourage one another daily as long as it is called today. Hebrew 3:13. So, take a breath, take a sip, and let's get to work. You can now write me at Joseph's Reserves, 10160 Highway 242, Suite 800, number 401 in Conroe, Texas, zip code 77385. Make sure to include your information so I can write you back. If you liked today's video, make sure to hit the like button. Go down into the comments to share your opinion or comment on others' opinions, start a conversation, or continue one. Share the video with anyone you think may like it, and subscribe if you haven't already. But most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up. So no matter how small, just keep stacking.